think that she had faith in INEC?
Well, going back, some of the comments that she made, and I would like to draw an inference. Before we issued our press statement, the senator didn't have a good opinion about the commission. And I don't blame her, because for us, many people really don't understand our processes and procedures. Even though the enabling law that guide our activities are out there in the public domain, everything we do is guided by the 1999 Constitution, the Electoral Act 2022, and our regulations and guidelines. There is nothing INEC does or INEC gets to do that is not backed by all the relevant provisions in those body of laws. But interestingly, after we issued the press statement announcing our decision on the recall, she praised us. INEC, you have done well, So again, this is our experience with politicians. When we organize an election and they win, they praise us to high heavens. We enjoy all the accolades. But when they lose, then we are in trouble. But you see, we are used to it. We have to do what we have to do.
Are you sure you are used to it, considering the outcome of the last elections and how Nigerians feel about INEC?
Well, there is nothing to hide about the last general election. We did our best. And there's something called substantial compliance with the rules and regulations. We did that. It was not a perfect election. You can't find any perfect election anywhere. Even the United States, where we borrowed presidential democracy from, you can see what is happening there. In fact, you saw what happened when Trump came the first time and lost, and how he argued that it was rigged out, even when it was very clear that it was not rigged out. But now when he won, there was no rigging because he won. So it's like a playbook for politicians. I think conducting an election, especially in Africa, is a thankless job, and it has become very difficult because many people are just emotional. People react. It's like when Super Eagles is playing the World Cup. When we lose, people get emotional and get angry and so everybody turns to a coach, kind of, literally. The same thing in election. People, when your candidate loses, you don't want to listen to anything. But I think that as we mature in our democracy and people get to trust the process, they understand what we are going through. The end of a general election signals the beginning of preparations for the next one. The general election we hold every 4 years is a huge, huge undertaking. And it takes us 4 years to prepare. And we have already started preparing for the 2027 general election immediately after concluding the 2019 general election, because there is so much we need to do. And along the way, we are carefully implementing all the activities. And I'm sure that by the time we get close to the election, there will be more activities and people will feel all these activities.
Off-season elections like that of Anambra, just in a bit, we would be expecting Anambra election in November. And Anambra is not too far from here. We have so many Anambrians here. What's the plan for Anambra State?
We released the timetable and schedule of activities for the Anambra governorship election. And we have all the activities on that timetable. And that's always the method that INEC uses for election. We plan for elections, and all the activities will be listed. And we are on course. I know that the election will be a good experience for the good people of Anambra State. And we just want to assure them that just like we conducted a good election, we will conduct a good election in November as well.
Thank you for joining us in Port-Harcourt. Rotimi Oyekanmi, the Chief Press Secretary to the Chairman of INEC. We have discussed some interesting lines as regards the recall or process for Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan. And thank you for educating us on this. Thank you for joining us in Port-Harcourt.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a wonderful day.